Sarah, joining me is Dr. Joel Conn from Pismo Beach Veterinary Clinic, and you probably have some post-Halloween visits from some of your patients if the pets get into the Halloween treats.
We do. It seems like every holiday brings pets in, and so there's a couple of simple things you can do to try to keep your pets safe at Halloween.
Keep the candy away?
Keep the candy away, of course, that's number one. So candy is for kids and people, not pets. And, you know, obviously we all know chocolate can be toxic. Mm-hmm. Some things like macadamia nuts can be toxic, but don't forget
I didn't know about macadamia nuts.
Those wrappers and lollipop sticks can cause blockages. Mm-hmm. So keep those candy bags away.
So
from
even
pets.
if they don't get the candy, they might get the leftovers from the kids, and it probably is like, it's got some melted chocolate on it. Looks good to a dog, right?
That's right, and they'll eat the whole package if they have the chance. So keep that away from the kids. Around Halloween, you want to keep your pets indoors, especially at night. Don't leave your pets unattended. Halloween pranks can be vicious. They can be aimed at pets, especially black cats.
Right, they become the target. Mm-hmm.
They can be the target. So keep your little guys indoors, especially at night, on and around Halloween.
Because there's just an increased amount of traffic. There's people, strangers. So even if it isn't an attack, a prank, which, you know, even if it's done in the spirit of being funny, for a pet, it can be very dangerous. But there's just more people out, and it can be intimidating, you know, because all of a sudden there's like a flood of strangers coming through your neighborhood dressed up in scary costumes. And I know we have at least one dog in our house. If you have a hat or something on that's a little different, it startles him, and he won't always recognize, you know, friends and family if they just alter themselves just a little bit.
So that's a good point. So now you have trick-or-treaters coming to your door.
Right.
You want to keep your pet, preferably in a separate room is a great idea, because they can be very startled by strangers coming to the door. And now these strangers are even in stranger outfits.
Scary outfits.
And keep your pets contained, too, because if your animal does get loose, you know, that can be a problem on Halloween night. So keep them in a separate room if possible. Make sure they have good identification in case they do escape.
They do get out while you're answering the door to all the trick-or-treaters. And we're looking at all these costumes, and you have to admit they're really cute, but we can't talk to our dogs. But, you know, just common sense tells you a lot of times they're not having as much fun as we are.
So be careful with your costumes. Much as we might like to dress up our pets, not all pets like it. It can be very stressful for them. If you do dress them up, make sure you don't have anything constricting around the neck.
That the costume itself isn't dangerous for them.
That's right, not things that are going to be small enough for them to eat, that kind of thing. And don't leave them unattended in costume, please.
Right.
The other thing is that with haunted houses and that kind of thing, fog machines have actually, we've seen a couple animals come in with asthma-type signs from fog machines.
Well, I know for myself, they can make me a little choked up, and so it only follows for a much smaller pet. That could be a problem. So the fog machines, if you're...
Fog machines you want to steer clear of on Halloween.
Okay.
You know, if you do go out with your animal trick-or-treating, if you have a dog that's well-behaved, just make sure that they have good identification, reflective clothing, that kind of thing.
It's, you know,
Keep them safe.
just like we're thinking about with the kids running around the neighborhood, you have to think about that for your pets too. You know, a costume that's not going to make them hard to see if they're walking out between the parked cars with you. And there's just so much activity, especially if you live in a neighborhood where there's lots of trick-or-treaters. There's so much going on, so you just have to be careful.
Safe. So it's not all scary, though. There's some good things that come out of Halloween. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about pumpkin.
This is surprising to me. Okay, pumpkin
so this
for
is
pets.
kind of a cool thing. Pumpkin, a lot of people feed their pets pumpkin, and it has some really great benefits. It's very high in fiber, and this acts to both help with diarrhea conditions and help with constipation. So sort of counterintuitive, it can help with the gut in general.
Okay.
Everywhere there's fiber, it's going to bring water with it, and that's actually a great thing for upset stomach and issues like that.
Okay.
It contains a tremendous amount of beta-carotene. That's what makes it orange,
right?
Which is an antioxidant, and it's anti-inflammatory. Some nice therapeutic benefits there. It is completely loaded with vitamins, A, C, K, vitamin E. It has
the stuff that makes it healthy for us is also healthy for our pets.
Got some good stuff, and the nice thing about it is most pets really dig it.
Okay, are we talking about pumpkin from a can? Are we talking about the jack-o'-lantern after you're done with it?
Raw, cooked? You gotta be a little careful. The jack-o'-lantern after you're done with it might not be the most palatable thing in the world.
Because they start to spoil sometimes and mold. And I was doing a story last week about the giant pumpkins that were in that contest in Mission Plaza in San Luis Obispo, and found out that the raw pumpkin can be fed to cows, and they actually like it. if it hasn't started to spoil. So is that the same for your
Yeah, you got to be
pets?
careful with that. I mean, with fungus and mold and that kind of thing, obviously you can
happens-
cause upset stomach.
And that happens
So-
pretty quickly when you have them sitting on your
It does.
doorstep.
Yeah, so canned pumpkin is great, and of course that's available year-round.
Right.
You want to avoid pumpkin pie filling because that has spices and
That's-
sugar and such.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff that's really good, but
Yeah.
not good for your pet.
So, and you can feed your pet sort of depending on body size. A cat would be a teaspoon or two a day.
Okay.
A 30-pound dog, more like a tablespoon or two, and then a larger dog, you go on up from there. So
Okay.
it's kind of a nice little added treat.
I like it. I had not realized pumpkin for your pet. As always, great information from Dr. Joel Conn with Pismo Beach Veterinary Clinic. If you have questions and comments, send those in to askthevet@kcoi.com. And just try to make it a safe Halloween experience for you, your kids, and don't forget also for your pets. And we're sending it back over to Sarah now. Actually, we're sending it to the commercial break, and we're back in just a moment.